Alrighty, so Mael is dropping very soon, so I wanted to put this video out. I think it's going to come out on Sunday, so that way half stamina will be going on, because that will be the best time for you to farm for the materials and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to go over what I'm doing and the materials that I'm, trying to prep and everything, so that way you can be ready to power him up and everything good to go as soon as he comes out. So first and foremost, I'm sure a lot of people are pretty curious about gear for him. I think ideally you would want to have two different sets, probably one HP defense set and one attack crit damage set. If you want to do the most damage in PvP, or even use him on Nidhogg, for example, which is the PvE activity that more than likely you're going to be using him on if you use him on any of them, which, I mean, I guess you could throw him on different kinds of stuff, but I think Nidhogg is kind of where he's going to shine as far as that goes because of the new Freya relic. But if you're going to be using him in any sort of PvE activities like that, you're probably going to not worry about as much on CC and HP, and you would probably go for more attack. So attack crit is going to be best in that situation, or if you're trying to just go pure DPS build in PvP. But from what I've seen and the videos that I've watched of people using him on the Japanese servers and everything so far, it seems like you're probably going to want to run him with HP defense, just because most of the Angel team is already running HP defense. You can kind of just go for pure CC, try to out CC, go first as much as possible, because he can tank pretty well, but obviously Escanor can be a pretty big threat to him, depending on, the team that they're running with demons. Going first is kind of a big deal. So I think the meta has definitely shifted a lot more into like HP defense meta, like over the last, like, I would say more than like a year at this point. I wouldn't say it's recent really, but the Angel team has really good CC. They have a lot of synergy, so even if you're running him on HP defense, he's still going to do really, really good damage. So I personally have been building up an HP defense set for him. I don't have like the greatest of rolls just yet. I'm still working on this piece right here. I still need these two rolls to be attack, and any sort of anvils that I'm going to be getting in the foreseeable future will probably get applied to his gear. So this is the HP defense set that I'm planning on putting on him, and then I already have an attack crit set that's pretty much done. The rolls could definitely use a little bit of increasing there, so anvils will probably, or hammers will go towards that as well once I get finished with the HP defense set. But I think the biggest reason why you're going to want to have an HP defense set on him in general is that you can also use him as a grace. So not only are you using him with HP defense for extra CC and stuff like that in, PvP, but if you're wanting to use his grace at all, you're probably going to want to get as much stats and CC as an associated link on him, so HP defense would typically be the best sort of set to run as an associated unit, so unless you're just running like PvE activities, I guess. But either way, so those are the gears that I'm messing with. I think HP defense is the priority, but I'm definitely going to try to build an attack crit set for him as well. If you're curious as to, like, I guess like characters that you should probably be running with him if you need to invest in any, obviously they're all going to be goddess race. So I definitely am seeing a lot of people running Margaret, just because she can cleanse, get rid of any debuffs that you get applied to you, which if you're running all angels, he puts, like, none of the angels on your team can be stat lowered at all because of his passive. So you don't necessarily have to worry about the cleanse for like stat reductions or anything like that. But if you have to worry about dissolves or anything of that nature, you can definitely cleanse off with that, or you can just use her blue card to increase damage dealt and decrease damage taken, which is pretty good. So that is very helpful. I've seen a couple of people run Red Tarmiel on the field with him, which is pretty interesting as well. Ludo is obviously a big one if you want to go for just pure damage, but obviously he's a pretty popular character. A lot of people are going to be summoning for him. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be the best, because if people are running Mael with an Angel team and you go up against it with this Ludo, you're not going to be lowering anything, and he becomes useless and his cards are not very good. So I don't necessarily know that I would recommend running Ludo, just because of how popular he's probably going to be. But who knows, if the meta sort of evens out, there's not as many angels as you expected, you could probably get away with using him here and there. Other than that, other than Margaret on the team, pretty much as a guarantee, I would say Green Sariel is really, really good. And then backliners, I'm not insanely sure yet. Obviously, in the live stream, they used Nanashi, which was kind of odd, to be honest. It helps tank a little bit, but I think you're probably going to be wanting to do as much damage as possible. So if you really wanted to, you could go with this Liz for just less damage taken, but I don't think that that's the greatest idea. Maybe just running Bond, Ragnarok Bond in the back, or I guess if you're running Sariel, you could try to just stack as many debuffs on and potentially go for Festival Zeldris, but I don't necessarily know if that's the best. He has way better CC than Bond, in my opinion, so it might help you out CC some, but I don't know, just using him for the basic stats might be okay. I'll have to experiment around with that one a little bit, but you're basically just going to be running a full Angel team. Another thing to note that I have become painfully aware of, and I think you guys probably understand it too, is that leveling up characters nowadays takes a ton of materials. So not only make sure that you have your demon or OG demon and Belmoth cores ready for hitting him to level 90 and level 100, but make sure that you're not slacking on the older materials, of course. On top of that, I've just been saving these up. I don't necessarily think that it's very easy to farm these out. So I mean, if you can farm those out last minute, I guess go for it, but these are not necessarily like super easy to grab like on a whim, so we'll just kind of skip those. If you have those saved up, obviously that's good because you're going to want to upgrade his cosmetics and stuff like that. Making sure you have at least two UR pendants, and I can't remember exactly how many SSR pendants it takes total to rank up a character nowadays, but I try to sit on at least a stack of them just in case like a surprise banner comes out and there's more than one unit on the banner. But if I stay with about a stack, I can normally keep it around there every time a new unit comes out, so that's just my personal plan. Another thing is books. He is a light character, which means that you're going to have to exchange different books to be able to get the light books, so we'll go over that in just a moment. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about is XP pots. It takes so much XP to rank up characters nowadays. It's ridiculous, but luckily they do the little boosting events and everything every time a new festival comes out. So you should be able to hopefully get a couple of super and ultra successes whenever you're using XP pots on your characters. Hopefully it doesn't take you too many XP pots, but I've become way more aware of just powering up units lately that it takes a lot of XP pots to actually rank up all of your character. So definitely do that. Make sure that you're doing your training dungeon and stuff like that, so you have stuff for your gear. Make sure that you can engrave it and everything. That's pretty much it as far as that goes. So in case you're curious, it takes, let me see here, it takes 10 of the 3-star books. So if we're going for light, I guess technically if you do this inside your inventory, whenever the unit actually comes out, you can just choose, like, it'll show you your red, blue, and green books, and you can do it like that. But if you want to prep them ahead of time, maybe you have a ton of, one certain type of book, like if you have a bunch of reds or greens, etc., you can kind of just do it in advance. But it takes 10 3-star books. So this is what? You have to do equivalent exchange, light, and it's a 3-to-1 ratio here. So I guess if we were to split it up, we'd have to do one of them with 4 and then the other 2 with 3. But so we can do 3 of each of these if we want to try to keep it as even as possible, and then also 3 of the blue book, and then it takes 2 of the 4-star books. I'm doing the wrong thing here. Let me do 3-star equivalent exchange, and then light. We need 3 of those, and that should be, yeah, we have 10 of those now. We only need 2 of the 4-star books, so I guess technically whoever I have the most for. I guess I'm lower on blues, so let's just do 1 red, 1 green maybe. So we'll just go ahead and grab 2 of these, 1 here, and then 1 here. And it takes 1 5-star book, and this is just to get the character from level 50 to 60. So do be aware that on top of that, you also have to have the 6-star books, and it takes 8 of those to get a character from level 60 all the way to level 100. So that's also 3 books a piece, which I technically have more reds than anything. So we could go ahead and do a couple of these. How many of these would it take me? I think we'll do maybe like 5 of these. I need 8 total, so I just need 3 more. And then I have more blue books than anything, or more blue books than the green books, so I'll just go ahead and do the other 3 like this. So now I have enough to completely power up the character. So it's a lot of books. Make sure that you're book farming on Sunday if possible, so that way it's half stamina and everything. But that's pretty much all I'm doing to prep, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's anything other than that. I mean, I already have all of my angel like team sort of like ready to go. They're all level 100 and everything, so I don't have to worry about powering up any other units. Just making sure you have the demon mats and everything like that. Super awakening coins is a big one too, so I guess make sure that if you're going to be going to Fort Solgris and you have your little hourglasses or whatever saved up, make sure that you're doing the, you know, the Super Awakening Coin Dungeon. Make sure that you're resetting on runs that you don't get a chest on the first phase. That's a good way to help sort of, you know, make sure that you get a decent amount of coins from each of your runs. Obviously, if you get bad RNG, it happens. But yeah, I don't know. Wish they would change that. But either way, that's pretty much it from me. If you have any sort of suggestions or anything that you're doing specifically to prep for the new character, definitely let me know. Maybe I missed something in the video. Leave it down in the comments. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Super hyped for Mael. We should be doing, I guess if this is coming out on Sunday, we should be doing live summons on Monday night into Tuesday morning. So definitely subscribe if you want to be there for live summons or anything. We'll check the character out afterwards, and should be a good time. So I will see you guys then, and yeah, have a good one.